What if the person you've spent 40 years building the titles, the career, the polished reputation is actually just a corpse you're dragging around in a designer suit?
Oof. That's a heavy way to start a Saturday morning, Seth. You're definitely not bringing the sunny vibes today.
Honestly, I'm feeling a bit wired. I spent the morning cleaning my old jaw harp and getting lost in some heavy cognitive linguistics texts, so my brain is currently stuck in deconstruction mode.
Well, I'm just happy to be here and not currently staring at a sunbeam through a window like I was yesterday. I'm feeling good, though, just pure, unadulterated silliness.
Speaking of silliness, where are Emily and Jane?
Emily's stuck in a deep yoga trance. You know how she gets when the handpan is out. And Jane, well, Jane is currently busy being no-nonsense somewhere else. I think she's actually off hunting for some rare shamanic herbs.
Typical. Anyway, we have a massive one today. We're looking at Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk, but we aren't talking about the movie or the soap. We're looking at it as a manual for the midlife crisis. The radical, violent necessity of burning down your corporate identity to find a soul underneath.
Let's get into the wreckage.
Okay, we're diving in, and I have enough to say the opening. It's not a hook, it's a blunt force trauma. We open mid-chaos. The narrator is literally holding a gun barrel in his mouth.
I mean, talk about a stressful way to start a chapter. One minute he's talking about being a waiter, the next Tyler Durden is shoving hardware into his tonsils.
Right, and he says, and I love this phrasing. Either Tyler gets me a job as a waiter, or he shoves a gun in my mouth and declares that, to achieve eternal life, we must first die.
That is a very extreme way to handle a career change. But look at the logic he uses right there. He's explaining how to make a silencer. He's talking about drilling holes in the barrel so the gases escape and the bullet stays subsonic.
It's so clinical. He's describing the physics of a silencer while his teeth are literally on the metal. It's that detachment we talked about. The corporate self is gone. There's only the technical, visceral reality of the moment.
But then Tyler drops this massive, heavy claim. He says, death doesn't actually exist. We will become legends. We will stay forever young.
And the narrator's reaction is so grounded, so middle-aged. He pushes the gun against his cheek and goes, Tyler, what are you talking about? We aren't vampires.
No, ma'am. We're just guys in a building that's about to explode.
Exactly. And that's where it gets terrifying, because he isn't just talking about a metaphor. He follows it up with the literal chemistry. He gives the recipe. 1 part 98% nitric acid, 3 parts concentrated sulfuric acid, an ice bath glycerin, drop by drop.
It's like a cooking show from hell.
It's more than that. He links the destruction of the self to the destruction of the physical world. He says the building, the Parker Morris skyscraper, will be gone in 10 minutes.
Wait, he's describing the demolition like it's a masterpiece. He talks about the Project Destruction Committee members throwing office furniture out the windows, filing cabinets looking like large black refrigerators, then turning into black raindrops as they fall.
It's that deconstruction I mentioned earlier. The office is literally falling apart. The symbols of his corporate life, the cabinets, the desks, the paper, are just debris.
And then he gets into the heavy-duty stuff. He says no building in the world can stand if you apply enough plastic explosive to the foundation columns, as long as you use sandbags to direct the blast inward.
It's so calculated. It's precision engineering, even in the anarchy.
He even gives us the lifestyle version of napalm. Mix gasoline with frozen orange juice concentrate or Diet Cola. Or get this dissolved dried cat feces and gasoline. I mean, if that isn't a middle-aged man's way of saying everything is trash, I don't know what is.
It's total nihilism. But look, there's a shift. We move from the explosion to a basement under a church?
Yeah, and it's weirdly tender. He's being pressed into the sweat-sagging breast of this guy named Bob. This guy, Bob, is massive, like a god, but he's just hugging him.
It's such a jarring contrast. We went from nitroglycerin and exploding skyscrapers to, you cry, let it out.
It's heavy set. He says he's been coming here for 2 years every week just to let Bob hug him so he can cry.
It's a deconstruction. To find the soul underneath the corporate suit, he has to strip away the dignity. He has to become the trained astronaut monkey he mentioned earlier, just reacting, just feeling. He's literally letting himself be broken down, physically and emotionally, to see if anything is left.
I don't know if I'm ready to cry in a basement with Bob yet, but I'm definitely hooked.
So, we left off with the explosion of the corporate identity, but now we're stepping into the wreckage. The narrator is in this basement, and the prose, it just gets wetter. He says, a large wet face presses against the top of my head, and that is when I usually start to cry.
God, it's so heavy. He's surrounded by darkness, and he says it's easy to cry when you realize that whatever you achieve in this life will eventually turn to dust.
It's that nihilism again. He adds that everything you're proud of will eventually be thrown into the trash. There's no legacy here. No achievements to protect.
But wait, he's exhausted. He says, I haven't slept in almost a week.
And that's the link to the insomnia we discussed earlier. Remember that claim he made about the wall? He says the insomnia makes everything feel distant and disconnected.
Which honestly sounds like a Tuesday night for me after too much caffeine. But for him, it's a clinical dissociation. He feels like a soul separated from a body.
And then the chaos of the room breaks through the sadness. He starts talking about Bob. And look, this is where it gets medically confusing. He says Bob is crying because 6 months ago his testicles were removed. And now, because of hormone therapy, Bob's breasts have grown.
Wait, what?
It's literal. He explains the biology. If you raise testosterone levels, the cells produce estrogen to balance it out. He says, when there's too much estrogen in your blood, you grow bitch tits.
I mean, bitch tits? That is a wild way to describe a hormonal imbalance. But it's so visceral. It's not medical in a polite way, it's raw.
And he uses his own tragedy to pivot. He's crying because his life has no meaning. Not even nothingness. He says it's complete oblivion.
It's that zero probability of enough survival idea again. He says it's easy to cry when you know everyone you love will either leave you or die.
But then, the scene shifts to the actual room. It's this basement of an Episcopal church filled with plaid armchairs from a discount furniture store. And there are 20 men and 1 woman.
And the woman is just smoking. She's just sitting there watching them sob.
She's the only woman in the stay men group, and the narrator's reaction to her is so biting. He looks at her and just repeats, a fake, a fake, a fake, a fake.
She's got this whole anime girl look, big eyes, pale skin, and he's tracking her through every support group in the city. He's seen her at the leukemia group, the brain parasite group, even the tough faith group for bone cancer.
It's like she's a ghost, haunting the entire network of human suffering. And he notes how all these groups have these cheerful, mindless names, like internal purity for blood parasites.
It's so cynical, but then he reveals the one thing that breaks his ability to cry. The most terrible thing is, I can't cry if she's around.
Because she's a distraction. She's a physical presence that pulls him out of his self-pity. He needs that darkness, that hiding between Big Bob's breasts to let go. He says that's the only place he can let go of the reins.
It's like he's trying to find the primal self by leaning into the most extreme, uncomfortable physical sensations possible.
Exactly. He's trying to find something real by visiting the edges of death. He even describes a guided meditation. She leads this garden of serenity with these colorful gates, but it's so strange. He's visualizing white healing light and chakras opening, but his animal totem? It's a penguin.
A penguin?
Yeah, a penguin sliding through ice tunnels. It's so absurd, but it's part of this attempt to use ritual to find some kind of peace, even if it's just a sliding sensation.
But that apeutic physical contact part, that's where the tension is. She holds him and she cries for 11 minutes straight.
And then the heavy hitter returns. The man who is essentially a mass of lard, or a huge moose, as he describes him. He moves through the room like elephant tusks and just pins the narrator down.
It just crushes him in these stifling embraces.
And then Bob starts talking. And the deconstruction moves from the psychological to the biographical. Bob used to be a bodybuilder. He was on steroids, on visceral. He even mentions the chemistry of it.
This brings us back to that idea of the disposable man. Bob was a star, a TV personality, a god of the gym, and now he's just a man with bitch tits crying in a church basement.
It's the complete collapse of the curated identity. There's nothing left to protect. Just the weight of another person, and the realization that the person you were is already gone. So, we've established the setting this heavy, weeping basement, and now the narrator starts digging into Bob's past. He's trying to understand the man, and he starts with a linguistic hurdle. He has to ask Bob what huevos means.
I mean, if you're already being crushed by a giant man's chest, the last thing you want to do is a vocabulary lesson.
Right? But Bob explains it. Mexican for eggs. And then he pivots to why he was in Mexico in the first place. Steroid runs.
And man, the way he describes the glory days, it's so brutal. He shows this photo of himself, huge, naked, glistening, and calls it a stupid life.
It's a perfect description of that burnout we were talking about. He lists the entire ritual of the bodybuilding era, the shaving, the diuretics, the sheer physical strain of being hard and cold like concrete, the blinding lights,
until you're blind from the spotlights and deaf from the roar of the music. It's that total loss of self. You've built this perfect sculpted exterior, but inside the person is just gone.
And then he hits us with the cost. The disease ruined him. He's not just talking about a physical ailment. He's talking about the collapse of his entire structure. His steroid-fueled, hypermasculine world left him with nothing, not even his own children, who won't even pick up the phone.
That is devastating. But then he moves into the medical procedure. He says they're going to drain the fluid from his bitch tits.
Yeah, we hit that earlier, but look how it's framed here. It's a weird biological fact that marks the next step in the deconstruction. The god of the gym is being physically dismantled.
And the narrator, he just fades out. He says Bob pressed him so hard against his chest that he sank into oblivion, and when he finally broke free, all that was left was a wet spot from his own tears.
It's so heavy. But look, there's a sudden sharp shift in tone. We jump back in time. This happened 2 years ago. He's reflecting on the very first time he went to this Stay Men group.
And he says something that sounds almost beautiful. In a twisted way, he says, "That is where freedom is. When you enough hope."
It's a massive claim. He's saying that hope is actually a tether. It's what keeps you tied to the things you're afraid to lose. But once you lose hope, you're free.
And he connects it back to his insomnia. He says that after the meetings, he felt magnificent. He felt like a small, warm center around which the whole universe revolved.
And this is the kicker. He could sleep. The chaos of the group, the shared suffering, it gave him the only peace he could find. He says, "Every night I died and was reborn. I resurrected."
Wait, but then he immediately undercuts it. He says, "Every night, but not today."
Because the woman is there. The fake. He can't reach that point of resurrection if she's watching him. He's so distracted by his suspicion of her that he's literally biting his lips until they feel like shredded wallpaper.
Shredded wallpaper. That is such a visceral, gritty way to describe a wound. But he's obsessed with her. He's tracking her through every group in the city.
And he's convinced she's a stimulant. He says, "I feel like a liar when she looks at me." But she is the one lying. He starts doubting everyone. He even suspects Bob is faking his suffering.
I mean, can you blame him? The guy is a mass of enough lard and a huge moose. It's hard to take anyone seriously when the whole room is just a sea of performative grief.
But then, he reaches this peak of total nihilistic clarity. He says that looking at her, amidst all this truth of suffering, makes even death and the dying seem as fake as the artificial plastic flowers on a VCR.
Wow. That is a huge moment. He's stripping away the reality of even the most profound human experiences. It's all just plastic.
And the scene ends with this hilarious, desperate outburst. He's being crushed by Bob, he's being washed by the fake, and he just screams, "Bob, I need to go vomit."
Honestly, relatable. Sometimes that's the only way to handle a midlife crisis.
But then, the book pulls us away from the church basement and into the mechanics of the work. We move to the airport. We move to the films, and we finally see the entry point for Tyler Durden.
The prayer. The way he prays for a plane crash.
Exactly. He's flying through O'Hare, LaGuardia, Logan, and every time the plane tilts, he's praying for a catastrophe. He wants the burning like tobacco moment. He wants the sudden, violent end to the monotony.
And that's how he meets Tyler. Tyler, the guy who works the projectors. The guy who lives in the flicker, click of the film reels.
It's so interesting. The narrator is a morning person, a lark, but Tyler is an owl. He only exists in the dark, in the shifts in the transition between one part of a movie and the next.
It's like Tyler is the personification of the glitch in the system. The moment when the two projectors are switching and there's that tiny, unstable gap,
and the narrator is just staring at those white stars in the corner of the screen, waiting for the crash. He's literally watching the film of his life, waiting for the reel to snap. That's a heavy way to end a segment. I think my brain needs a second to recalibrate.
Same. Let's grab some water and stretch.